Good afternoon, viewers. Today, we would like to first of all start by congratulating ourselves and wishing ourselves a happy and prosperous New Year. We pray may the Lord Almighty, restore peace in Nigeria and give us sustainable economic growth and development. Now, the issue we're going to discuss today is trying to provide some explanation as to the basis for the new tax regime that will be operational this year. Now, the government is insistent on its stand that this tax regime has come to stay. So we are trying to interrogate the possible reason behind that. Now, I believe it is not unconnected with escalating debt burden in Nigeria. The public debt is escalating, and it has reached an alarming stage that it is gulping 70 to 90% of our revenue, and then about 35% of our budgetary provisions. So 35% of our budgetary provisions goes into debt servicing. That is paying the principal and interest of previous debts. Now, these obligations have to be met, otherwise the compound interest will keep on compounding to an extent that 100% plus of our revenue will go into full debt servicing. Now, the question is, if 70 to 90% of our revenue goes towards debt servicing, how does the government finance its fiscal expenditure? Now, this is mostly obtained through obtaining more loans. You obtain more loan to settle the previous one, and then have some allowances to be used for your budgetary provisions. For instance, so the trouble is this debt servicing. The quantum of this debt servicing is the trouble. For instance, between 2020 and as at today, as at June 2025, Nigeria has incurred a debt of about 152 trillion naira, which is equivalent to about 100 billion USD. And then between 2015 to the end of the Buhari administration in 2023, this administration inherited a debt of about 97 trillion naira, equivalent to also about a little above 100 billion USD. That 100 billion USD could build 5 equivalent of Dangote refinery, probably station each one at various geographical zones, regional zones in the country, because the Dangote refinery was built with about 20 billion USD. That is to tell you the enormity of that amount. Now, between 2020 and 2024, for instance, Nigeria has obtained a revenue of about 51 trillion naira, which is a little above 40 billion USD. But out of this 51 trillion naira, almost 30 trillion was spent on debt servicing, or 60% of it. This is to tell you that most of the revenue that is generated within the country goes towards this debt servicing. Now, so that is the trouble, the escalating debt, this debt services. So the government is compelled to look for a way out of this critical situation. That is why it decided to broaden its tax base. It broadened its revenue base so that it generates more revenue that can comfortably fill the fiscal gap, so that less of foreign loans or debt will be needed to finance our fiscal expenditure or fiscal responsibility. So this is the situation, and therefore, but the point is, there are other avenues that the government would have used, which would have equally helped in boosting our revenue. For instance, if you talk about our refineries, our Morabound refineries, would have been a good avenue, so that, petrol is a composite, or crude oil is a composite product that you can generate many products out of it. Petrol, gas or diesel, jet fuel, kerosene, even petroleum jelly they are all derived out of crude oil. So, and then you look at our solid mineral sector that is untapped. That would have been almost all the minerals that are needed in the world. We have substantial deposit in Nigeria that are critically, if you look at it, they are unutilized in these trouble zones, Zamfara, Sokoto, Niger, even the Maiduguri side, all have this enormous deposit of various kinds of, mineral deposit. And then LNG, the liquefied natural gas. It is said that Nigeria has little crude oil, but it has abundant natural gas. So we have very large, liquefied natural gas deposit that is also untapped. These are areas, apart from improving and mechanizing our agricultural sector, that alone is enough, to cater for our financial needs in the country. So these are some of the issues that we'll be discussing with time, so that we try to bring to light some of the connections or explanations behind government policies. Thank you very much.